March 3rd, 2022. This is our third episode of our Daily Truth Blast. Good day sa lahat. Behind the Western propaganda on the ongoing US versus Russia conflict playing out in Ukraine, capturing center stage of global and local media, is one particular underreported development that reveals the full extent of the U.S. strategy of sowing chaos in the world to push up its project for a new American century in the 21st century and to push out our Asian century. Last February 28, 2022, the ultra-right-wing former Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, and the nth generation of a Japanese militarist family demanded that the current Japanese government under relatively pacifist Prime Minister Fumio Kishida opened discussions of nuclear weapon sharing with the United States of America, eerily coming at the moments of the Ukraine crisis erupting on the scene. Shinzo Abe said in a TV interview and widely reported in Japan that, quote, Japan should consider hosting the nuclear weapons of the U.S., unquote. The media reported, justifying this call by citing the, quote, ongoing Russia invasion of Ukraine, unquote, which is a misrepresentation of the facts of history, as it is the 5 expansions of NATO and threatened inclusion of Ukraine that really triggered Russia's defensive military intervention. Of late, Russian Foreign Secretary Sergei Lavrov also cited the Ukraine's expression of interest in restarting its nuclear weapons program as one reason for the Russian intervention. Seeing how this issue of nuclear weapons invitations by U.S. allied countries, Shinzo Abe must have known what the reaction of the major power in Asia would be. China reminded Japan of Japan's own 3 non-nuclear principles, quote, non-possession, non-production, and non-introduction, unquote. But it is apparent that the allies of the U.S. are towing the provocation line and playing with fire. Fortunately, current Prime Minister Fumio Kishida opposed Abe's proposal and reminded Abe of the same 3 non-nuclear principles of Japan. For us informed and politically enlightened Filipinos, geopolitically enlightened Filipinos, we should know what to do about this provocation Abe is pushing in our region, and denounce, oppose, and expose these malicious and cynical plots of the U.S. hegemonists to spread the fire of conflict, instability, and tension in our region. Unmask the local agents of disinformation favoring U.S. propaganda and strengthen our advocacy for peace in the Asian century. Finally, the false hero the U.S. and Western media is sculpting out of Zelensky is a distortion. If Zelensky were a true hero, he would have stood up to the U.S. and said no to U.S. expansion of NATO, declare neutrality in the tug-of-war of the U.S. and NATO against Russia, and be the champion of peace in the Eurasian continent, the way President Duterte has done in the Asia-Pacific region. Thank you, and have a good day. Stay safe. Mabuhay po ang Pilipinas, mabuhay po ang kapayapaan sa mundo po natin.